Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. It's Ms. Astrology Day. Yay!
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 Welcome.
Ms.
Happy to
Astrology
be here.
and
Thank you.
Aprylete Russell Day. How are you all?
I'm great. Much
Are you,
better than last time.
you're always great. You are.
Well, last time wasn't so great. We were coming out of a Mercury retrograde, but I'm better now.
And are we in Venus retrograde? Did I read that somewhere?
No, but we're heading into eclipse season, so there's always something going on. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So Venus is in a weaker position where it is in aspect to the sun right now, yes, but it's about to be Scorpio season.
Yay. Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
hence
Well,
Sybil with the black cat.
let's get to that. I'm in the middle of a hairstyle thing, so a change, and going to be traveling tomorrow. So I've been wearing a variety of hats, and really just figuratively, literally, not figuratively, but literally just wearing a variety of hats. Miss Aprilette, how are you?
I'm here.
Yay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I will say I am good because life is great, life is good, but I am here and that is half the battle. So,
Is there a battle waging?
yeah, I mean every day I feel like it's a battle.
Oh,
So
okay.
showing
Okay.
up is half
Yes,
of
it's
it.
half of it.
Yeah,
And you're
abs-
here.
and I am
Okay.
here. I've showed up. I have on a nice little turtleneck. I love turtlenecks, by the way. Just
Yeah, me
want to
too.
say that. A good old turtleneck does the body good. So yeah, I'm here.
Well, I'm wearing I was gonna wear a turtleneck too, and I was like, I can't wear a black turtleneck with the black hat. So I put on
Me
Yeah.
too.
my Katanji Brown Jackson t-shirt,
Love
That.
it.
persevere,
I love it.
and doing that. So I'm glad you both are here. I'm glad
Yeah.
all is well in the world of Ms. Astrology as well as Ms. Aprilette. And so
Yep.
let us move forward. Let's talk about the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter. We print it Monday through Friday mornings, and it's in your email box if you'd like to subscribe. We'd love to have you do it. It's absolutely free. Please go to SybilWilkes.com and just give us your name and your email address, and you'll have great stories. As we do today, we have our mental health and wellness contributor, Aprylette Russell, talking about the issues regarding mental health and wellness. We also have social justice, LGBTQ, politics, and we have the Little Known Black History Fact, as well as the HBCU Corner, Yogi's Jewel, and we'll have that a little bit later on to remind folks to take them through the rest of their day. Ms. Aprilette, let us talk about you and your wellness check today.
Alrighty. So the government just announced, so Biden administration, they just announced that they plan to award millions of dollars in grants to expand all mental health care and substance abuse centers for 24/7 access. So this is pretty much providing Americans with 24 hours, 7 day a week support for crisis care. And if you guys didn't know that there's about 400 community behavioral health clinics across 46 states that already provide care to adults or children that walk in that maybe not that may not be able to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already going on right now. But with Biden's new plan, he is expected to take some of that COVID-19 relief money. About $1.2 billion have been set aside for these centers. And they can also serve people with private insurance and offer a lower paying scale for people who cannot pay. And so, what that plan is looking like right now is about $1 million of grants are going to be awarded to 15 states to map out what this expansion is going to look like. And
Mm.
then with the 15 states, 10 of those states will be selected. And then in 2024, they will be getting more money for their programs, Medicaid. And then after those 10 states, they're looking to add 10 states every year until all 50 states are folded in to this plan.
Wow.
Which is really great, to be
That
honest.
is. Yeah.
I think this is a good way to spend the funds. And at the end of the day, like mental health care coverage is a problem. As we know, sometimes that we get turned away by insurances. A lot of therapists only take different insurance and maybe not private insurance. So this right here will just kind of make it inclusive for everybody.
Right. Right. I think that's awesome, and not just starting with a few, but really rolling it out with 15 states, as you
Yes.
say, and then keep going until for 10 states to join the program every year until all 50 are in the program.
Yes.
Do we know how they're going? Is it by Democratic governors or Republican governors first?
I don't know. But I'm
How
sure
much
that
did you say it was, Aprylete? How much
Um,
did you say?
So the COVID relief fund, they have set aside $1.2 billion, but during the
That's awesome.
program, they're going to just be doing $1 million grants, and then that next following year, 2014, then they'll be adding more money. But really, my question is, to be honest, is some of this funding going to go towards the shortage that we have in the healthcare system? Because at the end of the day, we know that since the pandemic, a lot of our healthcare professionals and mental health professionals, they have burnout. So yeah, we're going to be opening up these facilities all through 50 states for 24, hour access. But who's going to be providing the care if we have a shortage with staffing? So I wonder if some of those
Right.
funds can be used, for, just hiring more
Right.
staff, or even making it easier for staff to get behavioral health care themselves, or putting these
Right.
people through nursing school without having to pay all of those student loans. So what really does this funding look like?
And
Yeah.
will
I was
that
going to say
go?
that's my question too. I would love to see how much of it is allocated to children, even, and
Right.
to the schools, and
And I was thinking of the
teaching.
police departments.
Right. There are a lot of questions still about, okay, this is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Where exactly is this going to? And are we making sure that it's going into all everywhere that it needs to be, not just to,
Yes.
Yeah.
the opioid addiction, or,
Yeah.
those kind of things. Cause yeah, that's one form of mental health that should be addressed, but there's so many more. And I would love to see a lot go to justice reform in the police, but also to children in schools and our
Absolutely.
future.
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. And really using it for whatever mental health looks like in those different areas. So that's a really good question too. And I do want to say, last week, I was asked the question, what state is doing the most in mental health care? And so I
Good
said
question.
and I was just like, off of just research that I've done and what I've seen, I said New York. However, there's a study that just came out, and Wisconsin was ranked number
Shut
one.
up.
Wow.
Yes. And
The
this
place with the
study
cheese.
this this study was done by Mental Health of America, and it surprised even the people that did the study, because they're like, Wisconsin, really? But what really boosted up their ranking is because a lot of adults and children, or not children, sorry, but a lot of adults and like that middle age high schoolers and college students aren't reporting their mental health needs. And then they're not really putting down like the data. So of course that's going to boost up the ranking, because a lot of people aren't just reporting what they need mentally. So yeah, they ranked number one, and a lot of people are kind of confused about that ranking, but that's where they came in, number one.
And if they don't go to vote in November,
Right.
they're gonna really need all of that.
Yep.
Just saying.
Right.
Please, 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 please. Well, keep up the great
Right.
work, Aprylete. I'm glad to know that the Biden administration is still doing so much in the
It's a
efforts.
start. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and it is
Strong
a
start.
very good start.
Mhm.
The story that I had in the newsletter was talking about a busy legal day for Donald Trump. What was supposed to happen was the subpoena that the House committee investigating the Capitol attack on January 6th was supposed to send that subpoena over to Donald Trump. It did not happen yesterday, and apparently that moves as slowly as many things in Washington, D.C. This was expected to be issued to the former president. They've been working out details for the last week after last Thursday's dramatic public hearing, what is expected to be the last public hearing of the January 6th committee, in which they took a break. They voted unanimously. The bipartisan committee voted unanimously, meaning everyone voted in favor of the subpoena to get Donald Trump to come and testify before the committee. Time is running out for the committee. they depending on how folks vote in November 8th, now until November 8th with early voting, and the final day to vote, just want to keep reminding folks, November 8th, depending on how that turns out, who runs the Congress, whether it will remain in control of Nancy Pelosi, or whether Kevin McCarthy is hoping, as the ranking Republican, that he will be the new Speaker of the House. If he is the Speaker of the House, all bets are off. Nothing is going to happen as far as that committee is concerned. And if they do, and when they do put in their report, their final report, it's going to be interesting how quickly it goes into the paper shredder. And because they don't want to give any credence to this committee. That's how Liz Cheney lost her job as the third highest ranking Republican in the United States Congress, because they did not agree with her calling for some changes and calling for Donald Trump to take responsibility for what happened on January 6th. So we'll keep our eyes on that. In the meantime, he did have to give a deposition yesterday in the case of a woman who is a journalist and a magazine writer. Her name is E. Jean Carroll. She charged that in the mid-1990s, Donald Trump forced himself sexually on her in the dressing room of a Midtown Manhattan a high-end department store. He claims that this did not happen. And as a part of this, he said, he called her out of her name, said that she wasn't his type, and said all kinds of really nasty things about her. So she has charged him with defamation. And so he had to give this deposition at Mar-a-Lago yesterday. And no word on how that went. At least I don't have any information on that today. But it was supposed to be a busy day for him. But still waiting on that subpoena to reach him as well. So we shall see.
I hate to be like, it's funny because when these stories come up where like the subpoena was issued, I'm like, oh my God, something is happening, because I have said since I started doing the show that he is the Teflon Don. Like,
right.
I'm not saying, and I don't want to say, and I remember when we had Dr. Wallace on, and I was like, I don't see him getting caught or getting in any trouble. And Dr. Wallace was like, something's going to happen. And I'm like, well, maybe he dies first, but I don't see any actual repercussions. And so I see like they make these subpoenas, all this is happening, and then
yeah. They can vote on it, but it's taken the slow, long route to get.
And that's on purpose. I believe that that's on purpose.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to draw everything out. And that's why this judge last week said, you're drawing out the clock, you're playing out the clock, and you all aren't getting any younger. He was talking about Eve Carroll and Donald Trump, because she's 79, almost 80. He just turned 76. And so, he's like, let's get this moving, because none of us are getting any younger, especially you two. So, that is very smart on that judge's part. Everybody else in the Trump world wants to draw things out and hopes that, first of all, that there will be a change in power, that he will be able to run again, or somebody who is more in line with his way of thinking about the election, the 2020 election not being rigged, and all of this, or that he was not treated fairly in the election. He's hoping that somebody will be in charge and then can kind of cut all this off. And that's what Kevin McCarthy is there for. And that's why he's been currying favor with him for all these months, in order to continue to get support of Trump supporters. So,
oh Lord,
it is more than a notion. Are y'all still feeling the pain at the pump when you go to buy gas?
Yeah.
It seemed like it went down for a little bit, and then it started to creep back up. So like I have the smallest little, well I had, but it's not as small now, but it's still like $70. I'm like,
that's steep.
Yeah.
It is it's more than a notion when you go to the gas go to the gas station these days. I was telling somebody who's in California, that I went past a gas station on the expressway, and it was $2.89. He was horrified. It's like,
right.
and I was like, well, and I came back 15, 30 minutes later, and it had risen 30 cents. And
Ooh,
that's substantial. And he said, yeah, when you're paying $8 a gallon, it doesn't seem like that. But you're absolutely right. It depends on where you are. And I know that taxes play a big part in this in the state of Illinois. People are paying a lot in terms of taxes on their gas and what have you. Right now, I think I paid just about $3 a gallon.
yeah.
But this is the time in which the president not only is pushing ahead with the effort to reduce the student loan debt, but he is also, people are moving away from the discussion about women's reproductive rights and things like that. And now the Republicans are throwing up the economy because of the flux in the gas prices. And so the president has opened up and has said that they're going to open up the reserves and 15 million barrels of gas, which should bring the prices down. When they went back up again, as Astrology, as you were saying, was going, it was up and then it was down and now it's up again. That's when OPEC came about and said, we're going to stop producing as much. And that's what made the price of gas go up again. So he is made a notice of sale today for 15 million barrels from the Petroleum Reserve to help stabilize the crude oil markets and reduce gas prices. Would not be surprised if the owners of the petroleum companies played a part in this as well, because their hearts really are with the Republicans. And so in order to increase the gas prices, I suspect, and this is just me, I cannot speak for anyone else, but I do think that there is some collusion that is involved in the influx, the up and down, if you will, of the gas prices. So we'll see what happens with that.
Absolutely. I think we have the potential to see some things come out and be exposed as we get ready for eclipse season, and Scorpio season likes to bring out the secrets. Yeah.
Put them all on the table, baby.
Is anybody concerned about these new variants of the COVID-19 virus? There are some.
I wish I could say. Well, I wish I could say I was concerned, Sybil, but I'm just not.
I know.
I'm just still out here living life.
Well, I will say that I did get the booster, and I got really sick. And when I say really sick, compared to the first time I got the shot, I got the first vaccine, nothing happened. The second vaccine, I ended up sleeping on my bathroom floor because it was cool and things like that. With this first booster, I got the chills and, my teeth were chattering and everything. And I just, it was just a miserable night.
Did you get the booster and the flu shot at the simultaneous?
No, I didn't. I did not. I decided to go one at a time.
Okay.
And so I went with the booster because I'm traveling out of the country. And so I wanted to, have that to travel. So I'm just looking at these new variants, and there is a concern about a nightmare variant, a COVID nightmare variant, another highly mutated strain of the coronavirus. It's called XBB.
Okay.
And it's tearing across Southeast Asia. In some countries, it has caused the number of cases to double in a day.
Oh, wow.
So if it's going from one case to two,
to 4 to 8,
and so on and so forth. And some of the reports have called XBB the nightmare variant due to its apparent ability to evade immunity and dampen some of the therapy. Some infectious disease experts say it's too soon to jump to broad conclusions, but XBB apparently is in Southeast Asia, and it is causing some concern for people. And we know how the coronavirus traveled as well.
Yeah.
So
something to be on the lookout for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And of course, in our social justice article, Coy Malone talks about a white man who's detained for holding a black man by his throat. He accused him of stealing a bicycle, but no charges have been made against them. And it was there's no evidence that this black man stole this bicycle that this white man was accusing him of. But no charges against the black man, no charges against the white man, and nothing to prove there with the black man. And social justice stories go on.
Yeah, keep your hands to yourself. Like,
Well, I also think too that one
Jesus.
thing with, when I think about the astrology, it's just like, excuse me, Mr. Black Man, go ahead and your lawsuit, your wrongful detainment, your whatever it is, like we need to be filing charges, your defamation, whatever it is that we're able to civilly do. It's time for us to really stand up for ourselves, and we're not letting little things slide anymore. This was a big thing, but we're not letting that slide. And it's not that there were no charges against me, no charges against him. No. We're not letting anything drop. We want justice and fairness, and we want to restore all this.
We want justice. Police. When do we want it? We want it now. right now. All right. So it's time for what's really going on. And that is Ms. Astrology. It's Scorpio season. What does that mean?
It's coming. Yes. Well, this is that time of year where we now go from Libra season of being social and all that we've kind of accumulated over the last remember, for me, the new year starts with Aries season.
Of course.
So now we're at that 8-month mark where it's time to now go within ourselves and really take what we've learned and take what we've experienced and see which way we can transform, what things we can let go of, and how we can rise from that when it comes to Sag season. Because once Sagittarius gets here, it's ready to go over the top and do big things, but you got to go within first. So this Scorpio season, I actually think is going to be pretty intense because this year Scorpio hosts the eclipse. And the eclipse is the time of year when the earth kind of blocks the sun and the moon from that full moon energy that we get. So the earth kind of gets in the way. This is really big energy for us to go within ourselves and see where it's time to let things go, to allow transformation, to allow death or ending to something, to allow those dark secrets to be revealed on a collective level. I do think there are going to be more secrets that come out, more things be exposed. I also think one thing that I said when the nodes moved to Scorpio, I do think that we may see some news of people having cosmetic surgery that ended up really wrong.
The Kardashians, really?
Yeah. And anybody else. And I do think that we're going to see that we're going to see more stories of it going wrong, people really dealing with injuries. I think we're already starting to see a little bit more, but that's going to come up a lot more during Scorpio season. So it's going to be
so specific. Like, why that?
Know, right?
That's very specific.
Yeah. Well, because the reason that I say that is because Scorpio, the South Node is there. So the South Node is things we tend to want to get away from. And Scorpio is a very sexual, seductively sexual type sign. It's very voluptuous when you kind of think about those things. Well, now the South Node is there, so now we're ready to get away from that. Gotcha. This might have started 15 to 18 years ago where that was super popular when the North Node was there, but now that it's kind of tilted, now it's like it's not so good anymore. So well, those kind of things will come back. I think we'll see a lot of people getting things removed from their body that they had added. Those kind of things come in. So and a lot of secrets being exposed and a lot of transfer of power because Scorpio is a very powerful sign, but it likes to have power in a way that's oppressive, really. It's kind of a dark power, if you will.
Well, there's a lot of darkness, and you say as a part of the winter season, the darkness
absolutely.
Of the days.
We're getting ready to go into that. So remember when I talked about Libra season being about us being really social and getting with our friend groups and seeing who we connect with? Well, now we're like, okay, I've been connecting with people for a while. Now let me go and see, does this really feel right? Are these really relationships that I can take on? Is this really for me? Let me go and be quiet now and see how this sits with me, because some of that's got to die off and some of it's going to go with me, because once you come from Scorpio season, then you go really high like a Sag. So now it's meant to go to that dark place with your partnerships. I always say, like with Libra season, this is when you make connections with people. But Scorpio season then says, okay, now we're connected. Let's go deeper. Let's do a legally binding contract. Let's have sex. Let's get married. Something deeper. But we're thinking about it right now. Is this something I want to go deeper with?
So I'm going to a wedding on Saturday. They're getting married on the 22nd. Is that necessarily a good time for making those connections?
It kind of is, because that's really Scorpio season, which Scorpio likes to get like deep and super connected like that. So it is, but it also makes me kind of wonder with some of their charts, because people with a lot of Scorpio connections can have trauma bonds, and they can have these bonds that come from a place of hurt, and they just want to stick together because they've been through so much together.
Right.
And those are hard to break.
Yeah.
And this could be, hopefully it's healthy. So it's just this, we're super healthy minded and we're willing to go into this deep bond together. So if that's the case, then yes, it's very good. If it's more of a trauma thing, we've been through so much hurt, so we're hanging on, it's just kind of going to get like deeper and darker, and there's going to be a lot of secrets within them. So I'm just hoping that they are healthy mentally and in their bond with each other. But either way, it's a serious one.
It's serious.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, that's. I don't think this is something they're just playing with.
Good.
Let's talk
no
about
secrets either.
So, in terms of secrets for this country, or are we just talking about personal?
Oh no, it's definitely for the country, with the North Node there involved, and then this being kind of square Saturn, because Saturn is in Aquarius, and that makes a square. I do think that governmental secrets are going to come out. People that have been in positions of power, these kind of things are going to be exposed. It can be on a day-to-day level, but because the North Node is involved, it definitely has a potential to be on a bigger level as well. Really, I say right before the elections, but it feels like some things, like when I say right before the election, I mean right before the midterm elections, that we have people changing their minds, because it's like, wait, what? What happened? So there's a potential for a lot of that to kind of come out. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay. All right. I know that we have talked about, some people not making it in the long run and things like that. What about some famous Scorpios that we have in our universe, the folks that we see or talk about or listen to on a daily basis?
I think them. Yeah.
So
we had like Nia Long and Whoopi Goldberg and
And Nia really came to mind. She was the first person when I saw that she was a Scorpio because of what happened with her and her husband, the former head coach of the Boston Celtics.
Well, she has a lot of Scorpio placements. So one thing when I see that makes me think, and this may have been, I don't know that, has she put out a statement yet? Has she really said anything?
She just asked for privacy as they're going.
She just has very Scorpio traits, like they're very private. But I think the reason she hasn't said anything, and people might beat me up for this, I actually think she knew. You can't really keep anything from a Scorpio. They are the private investigators of the zodiac. They have the most accurate intuition of the entire zodiac. So she didn't want people to know because they're also very private.
Of course.
But this was not a secret for her. I believe that she actually knew about this relationship, and maybe that was why she moved a little bit closer to try to see how she can do her part to kind of make it right and bond a little bit more. She knew there was distance there. Maybe during a Scorpio season, she comes out and reveals a little bit more to us because she is a Scorpio, and a lot of Scorpio placements, like 4 or 5 planets in Scorpio, her moon and Mercury and all of that were there. So nobody can tell me this hit her, like blindsided her. You cannot. If there's one zodiac sign you cannot keep a secret from, it's Scorpio.
Right.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes, they're super intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah, and secretive.
Extremely. She knew, she just didn't tell anybody. I don't think her family knew. I don't think her best friend knew. This was something that she kept to herself, but it's something I also think she knew.
So I've got a long list here. Anybody that you see?
Fun fact: Scorpios are the #2 most popular sign of the zodiac. Virgo's #1. You'll find more Virgos than any other zodiac sign, and Scorpio is #2. So yeah, that's why there's such a long list of Scorpios.
And does that have anything to do with Scorpios being viewed as a sexy sign?
Right, it would seem like it, but then when you think about, well, why Virgo? And I think maybe Virgo is just like service to other people, and then where Scorpio kind of lays in their chart, they kind of on a day-to-day basis, they do tend to like sexual things. So yeah, they moved the Scorpio rules the reproductive organs, so it just kind of makes sense. But it also, we could probably take it back to the time of year. If you kind of go backwards in the chart and you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. If you go 10 months back, then you're talking about what's Aquarius season.
Mhm.
So it's all
Yeah.
about the people, population, generations, all of that kind of stuff. So then it kind of goes from
Interesting.
Interesting.
there. Yeah, but they're everywhere.
So what do you see for our friend Whoopi Goldberg?
I think she probably has something that she wants to talk to us about as well. Like that
Mhm.
was maybe, and I think Scorpios in general, depending on how much Scorpio is in their chart, they may come out with things that they've been keeping to themselves, my little secret or something I want to share with you guys, or because it is a sign of like deep integration, maybe she partners with another big company and in a really big way, or Scorpios are really good for partnerships. Remember, Libra is right before, so it's like meeting people, partnering people, talking to people. Now we make an actual agreement together to go into business together, sign contracts together, join a bank account, those kind of things. So I think for Scorpios in general, we may see a lot more of them partnering and making partnerships or revealing a part of themselves that they've kept a secret for a very long time.
I have a question. So since this is Scorpio season, what does this mean for other signs? Like I'm not a Scorpio. However, will I, still experience some of those things that Scorpios, experience in this season? Or like, what does that look like?
Yes, really good question. Well, one thing that we have to know about astrology is we all have all 12 signs in our chart.
Okay.
So depending on the time of your birth sets your chart with the first sign, and then it goes around. We are all connected. So absolutely, depending on what year you were born, and if any other planets like Saturn or Jupiter or any of those were in Scorpio, or if you're another water sign, like you being a Pisces, you will feel a lot of that. You as a Pisces may feel even more so like, I want to be alone. I don't want to be exposed. I don't want to deal with this kind of stuff. This is intense. And I just rather watch TV and zone out. So we all signs will feel with it differently, but absolutely, we all have all 12 signs and all the planets. We feel it all.
And
that
what sign is Gucci?
Gucci's birthday
with the hair.
His birthday is April 11th. So what sign is he?
That would make him an Aries. That would make him someone that barks at the door.
That is Goody Day.
That is somebody that when somebody walks by, he's like,
that is him to a T.
Bite, yeah.
Oh, well, he's not a biter, y'all. But no, he's definitely to a T.
He's a lover, not a biter.
He's a biter.
Yeah, he's so protective. Like he's yeah. Okay, interesting.
So I'm curious about from the political perspective. You said secrets and things and people changing their minds. You have any idea if it has something to do with a particular leader? Or like it might, I know we talked about Donald Trump being Teflon Don, but.
Right. No, I don't think it's him. He's going to stick by, but I absolutely have my eye on President Joe Biden. He is a Scorpio with a Taurus sun. So he was born on that full moon. So I absolutely have my eye on him. And if I'm not mistaken, Hillary Clinton is also a Scorpio. So there's just, yeah, absolutely. I think that some things may come out, some secrets may be revealed, but I have made my predictions about Biden as well. Like, I just don't think that he's going to make it through this presidency. And I think this is the time where things get really kind of, and it may be keeping it a secret. We may not know his actual health and how his health is doing. And that's something that he just rather not say to us or let us know about. But he's not a young man.
No, he's going to be 80 years old.
And astrologically speaking, it is time for a president to die in office.
Oh, like,
my,
really?
I hate to say it like that, but yes.
Oh, that's sad. That's really
sad. But
he shares a birthday with my cousin Sharon, November 20th, I believe. And he'll be 80 on that day.
So we'll see. It is also, astrology it gives you this certain energy. So it doesn't force anything to happen. If he's ahead of it, if he's being really healthy and really taking care of himself, really getting that rest and really doing what needs to be done, really taking care of his reproductive organs. So I would even say like his prostate and stuff like that. As long as he's really taking care of that, then maybe he gets ahead of this. But at the same time, he's 80 years old.
He's 80. Yeah. Just like we said about, just about these others. The judges like, say, time is not your friend.
Yeah. No,
like, come on with it. Yeah. So I don't necessarily think it's anything with Donald Trump. But I definitely have my eye on President Biden. I also have my eye on Hillary Clinton. She's a Scorpio as well.
Mm.
And she's a scrapper too. She is a survivor, so it'll be interesting to see
Yes.
how that all plays
Yeah.
out.
Hmm.
Any of these other folks looking at Drake? He's in and out of the news on the regular. Our
Okay.
friend Michael Strahan from Good Morning America. You already talked about Nia Long.
Hmm.
Letitia Wright really interests me because looking at Wakanda Forever coming out, and
Okay.
and the word is that she is going to be the next Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see that.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can absolutely see that rise of power to her. She's still fairly young. So this South Node here, I think the one thing that she may be a little bit struggling with is the sex appeal of her character,
Mm-hmm.
and, just that kind of thing, and really being strong and being feminine, or allowing your sexuality as a woman to still be your strength and still be your power. And maybe that's something that she's a little bit dealing with, but Scorpio is at Phoenix rising. So as long as she's able to go within herself and be comfortable with it, I do think this could be a great opportunity for her. And as long as she steps into that feminine energy, that sexual energy, and uses it, it's very Medusa vibes, if you
Yeah.
will. Like,
Oh,
just,
wow. Okay.
yeah, it's very much that. So yeah, I look forward to see what's coming from her. But I think for the rest, they're going to be so private. I don't think that we're necessarily going to hear a lot from
Right.
them, unless they've already been kind of forced into the forefront to where they have to share some things with us. But my message for Scorpio would be making sure, specifically during this eclipse, that you're resting a lot. And the eclipse happens on the 25th. So really the 22nd to like the 28th, that you're really resting, that you're really spending enough time with yourself, and that you're getting those doctor's checks for your reproductive organs and your kind of sexual health, because astrology affects you on a very
Interesting.
mundane physical level as well.
Yeah.
So it can be those things that this could be the time where you catch it. If you're young enough, Michael Strahan, and that just kind of comes up. If you're young enough, you can kind of catch it now. The older ones, it's just like, get your affairs in order, make sure your wills are right. Like,
Oh,
just
wow.
kind of,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
I
Interesting.
know.
Yeah.
Miss Astrology, how can people get in touch with you? How can they follow you?
So I missed astrology on all social media platforms, but my website is
Mm-hmm.
cosmicallylit.com. So you can book a reading there. I have courses coming up, and I'm always giving kind of tweets and reels and all that kind of stuff to give you guys some insight. So
Oh,
Great.
yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. Always enjoy the conversation.
yeah.
Me
It's so
too.
interesting. Let us go to trending topics, things that have happened today. Let's start with the I was going to say the youngest justice or the most recent, but that's not true because we have Ketanji Brown Jackson. But this is
Right.
interesting nonetheless. Justice Amy Coney Barrett, who was the next most previous justice that was appointed by Donald Trump, denied an attempt to block the Biden student loan forgiveness plan from taking effect. The Supreme Court justice rejected a challenge that was made to the Biden administration, and this was from a Wisconsin taxpayers group. This is a win for President Biden for now, though there are other challenges in along the pipeline, if you will, in making their way up to the high court. Student loan cancellations worth up to $20,000 per eligible borrower could begin on Sunday.
Yeah, I filled mine out already. So if nobody has filled out, I filled mine out as soon as it opened. I said, "Oh, here I go," and it
Awesome.
only took like literally 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Like it
that's
was,
what I've heard.
yeah, it was very boop boop boop. Push submit, and you're
Nice.
good to go. Yeah.
So this is going to, a lot of Republicans are against this. A lot of conservatives saying, we paid for our kids to go to school. You need to pay your share and blah, blah, blah. And what is this going to do to the economy? The appeal at issue was considered an uphill battle because lower courts ruled that the group, the Brown County Taxpayers Association, did not have the legal right or standing to bring the challenge. Under normal circumstances, taxpayers don't have a general right to sue the government over how it uses taxpayer funds. And so she acted alone because she has jurisdiction over the lower court that ruled on the case. She declined to refer the matter to the full Supreme Court. Her denial appeared as a single sentence on the court's docket. So that is the final word from a very conservative justice regarding the taxes, the taxpayer groups, and whether they can stop this program by the president in order to reduce the loan repayment of a number of students, millions of students who are now kind of waiting by the computers, if you will.
By your bootstraps. I'm waiting by my
Okay.
bootstraps.
So this is a good thing, right, Sybil?
Yes, this is a very good thing. This is
and
a very
I
good
see
thing.
it in her chart because she is an Aquarius, and I think this is actually very hard for her.
Mhm.
Like that's why just the one sentence like respond, like she's like, I don't gotta,
Like,
I just
nope.
no, yeah, just no. Like don't ask me why. Like because Saturn is an Aquarius and she is an Aquarius and she has her North Node there. I think she feels very obligated, but at the same time very challenged. Like this is very hard. Like I do think that. I think that, yeah, she was nominated there and Donald Trump thought one thing and she's like, as she got there, she's like, this is actually more responsibility.
Yeah.
I got to take this way more serious and be a lot stronger with it. So I think this is very difficult for her, but I also think because of the square that's happening in her chart where Saturn happens for her, she sees this as the opportunity to like level up. So I do see that she's like low key for the people. And when I say low key, I mean like one sentence statements. Like,
right.
like I don't got a lot of explaining to do, but
like a mother. No, because I said so.
Because I said so. It's definitely that type of energy. So, and you say like a mother, her moon is in Cancer. Cancer is the mother, the moon is the mother. So it's very much like a mother. Like I don't have to explain it. This is what makes sense. This is what's best for the entire family. Get in line. Like go sit down.
Right. And as a mother of, I think she's got like 1,700 children. So,
she
there's going to be some student loans in their future.
Forgive them all. Yeah. And I also think with that, she has Mercury in Capricorn. She's really just about the business. She is, I think, about how do we make this country better? How do we, reproductive rights is a whole different thing, but this is at least a start. At least I think she's trying to balance it out.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. We're not going to get her there with the reproductive rights.
Right. But she's like, okay, I might not have.
I'm not handling this, but this.
Right. This one.
But the student loan repayment, I got you. Okay.
Right.
This is also interesting politically. Senator Lindsey Graham must testify before a special grand jury investigating whether President Donald Trump and others illegally tried to influence the 2020 election in the state of Georgia. This from a federal appeals court announced this today. Graham's lawyers asked the court to block a subpoena from the Fulton County District Attorney, the sister District Attorney, Fani Willis, in Georgia, claiming that a sitting senator is shielded from such investigations. The three-judge panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit denied the Graham request and upheld a lower court ruling narrowing the range of questions prosecutors can ask. Senator Graham has failed to demonstrate, they say, that this approach will violate his rights under the speech and debate clause. He is using his rights as a federal government worker, an employee, if you will, not necessarily senators, not necessarily workers. But he was using this in the same way that Donald Trump was trying to use the government to shield him from being charged with defamation. Because you cannot sue government employees for certain things, among them defamation. He was trying to use this, saying that he could not be, there are certain questions he could not be asked of prosecutors. So they're saying, no, you need to go see the sister DA, Fani Willis.
Yeah, and answer the question.
And you got some splaining to do on some things regarding what you did, what you knew, what you said, and what you did, and when you did them following the 2020 election in the state of Georgia and losing that state. So it's going to be interesting.
I find it very interesting that he uses the same tactic as Donald Trump, because although Lindsey Graham's sun sign was in Cancer, his Mercury, which is a planet of communication, was in Gemini, which Donald Trump is a Gemini. And so they do that double talk. They like and try to confuse you with their words. But also he has a Pisces moon. So I think in all honesty, it's such a delusional placement. But I do think that in all honesty, he thought that Trump was right, and that was a tactic he could use as well. And he didn't fully understand, and he let himself get talked into that this is the way, this is the route you could get out of this type thing. So,
Yep.
but he's a Cancer and he's got to see a Black woman as the DA. So this is not looking good for you, Mr. Graham.
Sorry, Senator, government worker that you are.
Right. You are not a Sag Moon like old Teflon Don. I don't see you getting away with it as easily.
Okay. Oh, too
hard.
bad. So sad. Right?
Next.
This is interesting. The Pentagon has announced today they will pay for service members who have to travel for abortions. If they are stationed in states where it's not legal, they will pay for it. According to the Secretary of Defense, the brother Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin directed the department to adopt a suite of reproductive health care policies in response to the Supreme Court's June decision to end the federal right to abortion. This is when they did away with Roe versus Wade. Since June, all or most abortions have been illegal in 13 states. Bans in a handful of other states are currently on temporary hold by court order. According to a report to Congress earlier this year, 91 abortions were performed at U.S. military hospitals between 2016 and 2021. So over that 5-year period, they had less than 20 a year. As a result, most service members seeking an abortion must travel to a civilian facility to do so. And several of the military's largest U.S. bases are located in states where abortion is now banned. And if you look at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and that is right at the Kentucky-Tennessee border, Fort Hood in Texas, and that is those are both homes to tens of thousands of service members and their spouses. So his memo seeks to address concerns about abortion access and reproductive privacy in a number of other ways. And the policy changes include the extension of time by which a service member must report a pregnancy to 20 weeks. We're not talking about the 6 weeks that a lot of the states are talking about. And it also takes steps on behalf of healthcare providers who work for the Department of Defense. And the Pentagon will reimburse those fees for providers who seek to become licensed in other states in order to perform the official duties. It's a very interesting and complex decision on the part of Defense Secretary Austin. And a lot of people are commending him for taking up this decision and making this clear today. So
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so check this out. 5 daycare workers have been charged with child abuse after a video of them terrifying small children with the mask that one is seen in the movie Scream. The kind of mishmash white Scream film franchise face or mask there. This, of all places, this happened at Lil Blessings Child Care and Learning Center in Hamilton, Mississippi.
Little Blessings. Them kids were
Little
scared.
Blessings are getting the Scream
little
treatment.
traumas.
Right?
Yeah.
There's an undated video of a daycare worker wearing the Scream mask and seen terrorizing children who are screaming and crying, and some are paralyzed with fear. Yeah. Are you being bad? Do I need to take you outside? The masked daycare worker can be heard screaming into the face of a small child. Can you imagine? The child screaming.
In the video, she was like in their faces, and it's like for like minutes. I'm like, girl,
I would have peed myself. I promise you.
It was horrible.
First of all, you're not gonna do that to my child, and or to my Gucci, or to
or anybody.
What are you doing? That's not funny.
It wasn't like a funny, like a it was like a really,
she
really
knew
intense.
she was scaring them.
Yes, it was very intense. It wasn't funny at all.
Wow.
So she deserves felony charges.
Yeah.
In that case, like, you are intentionally traumatizing
my child.
That I put in your care.
Yeah.
So you absolutely.
But I'm paying you to watch and to take care of every day, and not to terrorize. The little blessings.
Right. I listen, I'm not one for frivolous lawsuits, but I'm definitely one for Black people getting it every single way that we can at this point. And so I think that although she's getting those felony charges, there's some kind of way to file a suit against that business or that establishment for traumatizing your children.
Yeah.
Like
Was it just
that's
one
trauma.
teacher or was it 4 teachers?
Well, it's five daycare workers that
Okay.
have been charged. This is in this video. It shows the one woman in the mask and bending down and shrieking in the child's face, and the
Yeah.
other voice is heard of somebody taking the video.
Got you. Okay, yeah, they need to be charged too for sure.
And
because-
yes, the people that's videoing this, because
Yep.
you see these children crying and
yeah,
paralyzed, and
literally.
they're
Yes.
babies that you care for on a daily basis, so you know their energy, you know they're genuinely
Yeah.
Oh
scared.
my God, they're going to be traumatized.
I can't even imagine.
Oh.
That's a trauma bond. Very
Yeah.
Scorpio energy of
Mm-mm.
trauma bonds.
Mm-mm. I can't even go see this movie if it's not in daytime. I promise you.
I don't like none of that stuff
I can't imagine.
Me either.
just can't
I don't
imagine.
do horror films and
Mm-mm.
anything like
At
that.
all.
But
Not me.
Oh,
Not me.
poor babies are going to be so scared of that.
I
Like,
know.
this is a great way to make them scared of white faces.
Okay.
So, what
Yeah,
were the daycare
yeah.
workers? Like, were they black women? Were they
No,
white
they were
women?
white.
Like,
They were
oh,
white.
they were white, yeah.
sue everybody.
And some of the little kids were white
pressing
too.
charges
Like,
on.
Yeah, the
Okay.
children were it
White
was a
women
mixed group
were
it
of
was a
coming
white.
for
mix, yeah, it was
you.
a mix,
Yeah.
a diverse group, but some
Yeah.
of the kids were white, some of the kids were black. And in the video, I didn't see not one child like get up and
4 of
run.
them.
They were all literally paralyzed,
Like
in
paralyzed.
their seats, like probably couldn't even breathe because they were
Right.
so traumatized.
Right.
Like,
They
it was-
froze. That
Yeah.
was just, their automatic autoimmune
Mm-mm.
response.
No,
They
this
froze
is not
white women.
funny.
Listen, like, and I'm not like, but white women, like, you guys are dangerous.
I know, Karens. Come on, Karens. You
They're
got to
very
report on
dangerous.
you.
I say all of them face charges, and I do like parents. If you guys, it's time to file lawsuits against these people. They got to be taken. This has to be taken way more serious. These are our
Yeah.
children. This is our future. Yeah, no more letting that get away.
All
I
right, this
agree.
is cute. In our entertainment as we wrap up today, this is cute. Cardi B, a young man shot his best shot with Cardi B. She was leaving court in Santa Ana, California, when a swarm of young fans met her outside the courthouse. They were obviously thrilled to get a glimpse of Cardi B in their neighborhood, right? One in the crowd decided to give it his best shot, walked up to Cardi and asked if she'd hit up the homecoming dance with him.
Oh,
Asked her to go to the homecoming dance.
Did
What'd
she
she say?
respond?
What'd
She did
say?
not. She
Oh.
did not.
I like
Um,
Cardi.
She, of course, she's a married lady, got 2 kids, and all of that. She's and was probably thinking about her legal battle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just kind of surprised that your daddy was just at my club last week. Like, what are you doing
For her birthday? Yeah, because she's a Libra. Yeah, for her birthday.
So
Yeah.
she's there about this cover of her album, in which the guy who is pictured on that is suing
Mhm.
her because he claimed he didn't authorize her to use his image.
His likeness and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
even think it shows his face. I think it's just
No,
like
it just shows all the
arms.
tattoos on his
Yeah,
back
yeah.
as he is
Listen.
laying on top of her.
This was like
and
her
you-
first kind of cover to like
Yeah.
a mixtape or something, even before she was as big as she was now. So
Yeah.
he didn't have a
So
problem
he's
with it
waited
then.
to see how big this
Yeah.
got, and
He
now
didn't
he's
have a
taking her
problem
to
with it
court,
then.
and
Get outta
now
here.
young man wants to take her to homecoming. I wouldn't
Right.
ask Offset permission if I were him.
Right,
Say,
just-
man, is it okay if I ask your wife to go to homecoming? But I thought it was cute, and I like it a lot better.
I like Cardi.
Yeah,
I like
do
her.
too.
I do want to say that she is a Libra with the Aries moon, so another one born on a full moon. We talk about one every single episode. It seems
How
like
is that
Sybil-
managed? How do we
And
even
I
do
mean,
it?
just every single episode. But I do think that she's going to win this lawsuit. Libra is the scales. It is justice,
Mhm.
and she's winning right now. Like, and
Yeah.
she's a Libra. I think she's very fair. She's very balanced, and especially with that moon of hers, she's serious about it. I think she's going to win. So
Yeah, she's serious about
and-
her money and justice.
Yeah.
You're right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And if this story gets a little bit more popular, I think she may even very well make an appearance at homecoming with this.
That would be so
That would be
dope.
so cute. That'd
Yeah.
be cute.
Yeah,
that would be
I like
great.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they would make him homecoming king and everybody would be very happy.
And it would be so cool. And all is well. Yeah.
And all is well in the kingdom of Santa Ana, California. Although they don't really need our help in the
Right.
kingdom being happy there. We're going to close out with our daily inspiration, Yogi's Jewel today. Being an example of what is good and right is a moral obligation. Be an example of what is good and right is a moral obligation. That is the Yogi's Jewel
Absolutely.
for today.
Love
I
it.
thank you, ladies. It's been a lot of fun as always.
Thank you.
Ms.
Thank
Astrology, it's
you.
great to see
Thank you for everyone in the comments. I'm just now clicking on them, but there's a lot. I like that.
Oh, that's
I'm gonna do that.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll do that again next time.
That is great. Aprylete, thank you so much for all your
Thank
good
you.
work and
So much
words.
fun.
And we will do this again, ladies. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yes. You
Bye.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.